Umama lokwazi ukufukamela izingane zakho kwesikhukhukazi besibona uheshe. Na ukusiboneke emaswele umgaqo kukhona ichwane elisele ngemuva kuba nzima nokuba siqhubeke. Sekuyikona ukuthi izilwana asiphiwanga ubuhlakani ofana nobomuntu kodwa naso sukuzubona ukuthi sesiswele ngembeleko ukuze sibelethe. Ukuba umama into esemthanjeni akusiyona into etholakala ezikhungweni zemfundo ephakeme okanye zobuchwepheshe. Injala yingamnyaka ifika noma inini ungayilindele kodwa umuntu uNkulunkulu uyakwazi ukuyimela kube ngathi ubusuzilungiselele. Ikakhulukazi ungabukele enkukhwini into ekwazi ukuba namachwana esikhombisa bese wathanda wonke ngokulingene. Kusukela namhlanje kube bengumuntu wesifazane ukuba omama bengengisakubukela phansi ngoba baningi abazali abaqede bashona njengentethe. Befisa ukuba sempilweni zezingane zabo manje ngeke kusenzeka kuvele kungithuseke ukubona osanethuba lokumkhuliso wakhe avela khetha ukumfaka egangeni zangakwakhe. Umama oqotha igeja akagcina ukuliphatha kuphela meyoqenta igceke. Nangale enganeni zakhe uzosiqondisa isigwegwe. Ngale nkondla ngizamile ukuphuca othisha ukwakhe abaholi bezwe kodwa engizama ukuveza ukuthi nomama bafanele ukubongwa ngoba bangabathungi bempilo yomuntu omusha besuse kubeni ukotini kancane kancane kugcine kuhlangene isidwedwe. How I wish I could write them a song of appreciation, appreciating the power of a woman, heartbeats of an Africa. You may refuse them power, but they are power. Her abilities to make a house, a home relies on a humble and noble character. Her true beauty originates from nature because she's the mother nature and God-fearing. Woman is fertile soil. The city blooms and blossom from her bosoms. Blessed in caring life for 9 months, uprising future kings and queens. More than her loving kindness is tenderness. Her care and femininity is fire within, brought up with respect and connection. There are trees in Nautilus nation, godless of our breedings. She taught me how to pray. The difference between love and hate, friends and what kind of friends should I call frenemies? Her shoulder may carry weight alone, but she never failed to raise us all. Thank you, Mama.
Nkosi senkantolo. Imini ufakazi oqanda ikhanda ngizokhuluma ngeke ngikubonile nengikwaziyo. Ingalo yomthetho nesandla amaphoyisa agoqa izandla basikobe lomlilo. Abadli bembuya bawothi ubomvu babheke emphelandaba nomfana omncane bayomfaka esitimeleni esiya kagoqanyawo. Amathikithi usithengele ngokwakhe ngokuyinyathela emsileni. Bampheke ngogozwane bathi unesiphiwo sokuthatha ngozwane. Usuyobahlupha phambili kagoqanyawo. Bathi akaguqa athandaze. Asicelela inyathuko kwabaphansi ngoba kungedala umndeni uzophosa igabade. Bathi wafunga wagomela uthi uyofela khona shona khona sikhotheni. Vele ithuna lendoda siseceleni ngendlela. Uphenduka umhlabelo. Uphenduka umhlatshelo kwamfowabo ngokufana nomfowabo ofela amacala angawazi. Bakushaya indivu kusuka kwenkungu wabamehlo ukuze babone ubumsulwa benhliziyo yakhe. Wathi mina ngiyiphahla. Mina ngiyiphahla kuye ngisuke emakhaya lapha ngize ngokuvakasha bathi unamanga wena. Unamanga wena besazi ukuthi uzobuya yikho impunga yehlathi nomlomo ishoba lokusiphungela mphoseni phakathi esithandweni somlilo. Baningi sebendele kwelamathongo abanye badonsa iminyaka ngaphakathi bengakaze basithi imbibi sona icala lembuli ingubo langena. Nkosi enkantolo imini ufakazi oqanda ikhanda bathi CHAUQUE. Thank you.
I woke up with your name tiptoeing on the tip of my tongue where yours couldn't be, as kissing is a thing of the past. Your sin stained my sense of smiles, my eyes refused to open, ears not willing to listen to how long our separation would last, so I went back to sleep. But my imagination couldn't be locked down like our declining economy is, so with my eyes shut as tight as how I held you that fateful day, I saw you clearly. Before me, besides me, beneath me in all your beauty, in an outfit matching ease before she ate the fruits as forbidden as yours. I attempted to teach you of love making that leads to mind-shattering places from the soul, making blood rush with dopamine. Your body was on fire, but I preferred the spark in your eyes, a manifestation of the flames roaring in your soul. A soul as pure as a dove and as dirty as car tires. I attempted to sanitize with no OH, but still get you drunk in love, but it wasn't enough. You were as attracted to my touch as no to side. I was attracted to you as dog is to cat, so I kept chasing. We passed bodily fluids the way corona sprays, but only I got infected. 14 days later, my Valentine sees me as the dawn to a rose. So like the way these companies have been laying off workers, I let her go.
Banna tlohelang ho na le haba dibaka. Tlohelang ho na le beta le bolaya basadi le bana. Tlohelang ho na le kgakgatha ka sehloho ka ntle ho qenehelo le tswe le bona ke batho ba hloka ho phela. Tlohelang ho na le nka maphelo a lesakana bopa e tswe le bona ba tlisitswe ka sepheo lefatsheng. Why are you doing this to our mothers and sisters? Why are you doing this to our children? Why do you leave them wounded until their last breath without showing any remorse? Why must you kill them for who they are? Why must you endanger their lives at the cost of your bruised egos and pride? Don't they deserve the lives of queens? Don't you all rely on them for life? Yet you mistreat them, you abuse them, leaving them lying helplessly and begging for their lives. Are your ears that deaf to an extent that you can't even hear and know that it's full of vulnerability and tears? But you keep on hitting them hard until their life flashes before their eyes. But why? But why? Let's stop all the killings of women and children. I am the SOTHO guy.
When your nappy hair makes it impossible for them to sleep on your beauty. When the airbrush is emphatic on how flawless you look with that melanin. They will use sketchy tactics to draw themselves to you because they cannot picture happiness without you. They will find their worth in your beauty, hang you up on the wall like a trophy only to bring them glory when he realizes that he didn't go to the gym today, that he seriously needs to work out and figures, hey, you're already black. Nobody will notice anyways. Leave him. Allow his eyes to be the only thing that will forever sweat. When the white canvas complains that you've taken up all of its land, tell them you're a missionary. Show them your godly skin. Introduce them to colonialism, hell, genocide. Don't call it revenge. No. Say it was what God wants, because that will justify everything. When a nice dude writes a poem about your nappy hair, your melanin, and makes cute puns about paintings when he recognizes the masterpiece that is you, brush him off. After all, he is only stating facts. Your value lies not in his words. Tell him he's not up to your standard, and writing a poem will not change anything. Tell him you want to enjoy yourself before any man decides to take her away from you and that you don't have a lot of time. Remind us that you are a queen and that you'll never be anyone's slave. Rather, all hearts will be subject to yours. Your darkness will knight any man and make them fight for your approval. Remind us.
An adult in a dying economy, so I speak softly, I say it slowly, just not to make a mistake. Because I'm competing with TikTok lighties and Facebook influencers in this pandemic. So I will say it slowly. Kagiso and Wordog. We see posts and people speak, but we don't allow them to be heard in the noise of death, lust, and all about life. Because to us, a true conversation is noise, and venting is no longer for free. Because psychotherapists, don't bother me with your troubles, because I don't have the capacity to be your friend in this pandemic no more, because my peace is more at stake. And my personal space, don't disrupt it. Don't disrupt my flow. Because your worries is no longer my worries. Because remember, God is on the throne, and all that counts, just keep believing. That's what they will say. So Kaki worry, we die in silence. We continue to the act of self-death because no one allows you to be truly heard. And suicidal ideation is closer than the words or being short breath. Suicidal thought is no longer just getting out of bed or struggling to get out of bed. So I'm seated in a crowd where I am the most honest these days. And online I find my work, and I'm being at home in a space that I no longer see, but I'm being seen. But the collective all but ask you, say, check, what are you really doing out there? Are you really being seen? For when the collective defines your existence, your livelihood, your personality, and how you should live to their extremes, they ask you, not because they want to, because they care, but because they bus and you don't want your fellow man to be heard. Because the truth of the matter is, from the old people, they don't want to know about empathy or saving a life that is worth. Because for us to say or feel well on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is all that we hear. So Kahi worry, that is the deal.
UKUBE ngavula izindlebe ngalalela. Ngenkathi ngikukhalela ubekwa endaweni yakho yokugcina. Ngabe izinkulumo zakho ngazizwa uma uzama ukungidlebela ukuqwashisa ngalabo abaseduze kwami. Abaduduza ngokuzikhalisa inhliziyo nonembeza besijabulisa nokulisana nokubona ngifeza amaphupho ami. Mhlampe ingakho kunesomiso ezindleleni ngizihambayo. Lelu langa lalithunyelwe ukungikhanyisela kulobu bumnyama obabungihlasela. Lakhanye laze langibasela nemfula egelezayo yaze yashelwa ngamanzi okwesaba ebusweni bami. Izithende zobhuqu izintuli ukuhamba ezindleleni zobhaduli labantu abangathembakele empilweni yami nomndeni wami. Ingqakala igcwele inkenke ngenxa yokufihlelwa iqobo ukuze ihlanzeke. Izimfihlo zingenza ngizesabe kwamina uqobo, umlomo osuwavala nangempande yesono isihlobo. Ukukhula kungifundise ukubaluleka kweqiniso ngamanga alabo abaphila ngokulesaba kusukela mzukwane. Inkulumo ingizananga nisabhekene izozwana kanjani sabephila cambalele inhliziyo ibophene ingxoxo ingalungiselekile. Ngiyafisa ukuba izembatho zenu nazithatha sasinolwazi ukuba nifihla ziphi izibazi mhlasimpe ngaba sinawo lamanxeba sihlupha ngokugqobhoza izinyembezi zosizi nokungaboni nesonekulu wami ungena. Ingakho sengiqaphelisisa amazinyo engivezela wona. Ukuba ahlanzekile noma angcolile uma nginengxoxo nalabo engibabona bethembekile ngezifihle ngiziboniswa ngabadala abalele bengalele ngenxa yemfudumalo engekho emisamo. Okuyibona esengibathela ngezinyembezi ngoba uthando.
It is a jungle out here. It is only normal to be full of fear. Even if it might look like a green grass golf course, there's a tiger in the woods. Everyone else is looking for a way out. Without any shadow of a doubt, what would you say life is all about? The roads are long, for tolls to build gates. I know of torn pockets of a trouser that is never absent on the washing line. After slaving 9 to 5, we come back to withdraw our banked up notes only to learn they are informative and realize history is expensive. We leave home for a sole reason of a better living in Azania only for us to squatter camp and get dispersed by tear gas from Mamelodi to Zola 7 days of the week. This is nasty. See what we wake up to daily. This system is too sophisticated, so fees tick hated poores. They erase the trace and catapult the pace, close the case. If we lose this chase, we are only left hanging by grace. Disobeying commandments, envying celebrities when pockets are empty and can't roll up. We wonder what Tyra bangs every month, wishing to meet someone perhaps as generous as Oprah, win free things whenever she is around. We are stressed and can't afford desserts. Insomnia has us delusional, our eyesight turned illusional. When the bedroom feels haunted, we run from the dead to sit in the living.
Anger on an elegant tongue is an antique taste. With the highest praises, violence was a priority on my material existence. Without faith, I had to stop walking a distance, which taught him to undermine my reasons. No words could describe the pilgrimage. Even in my weakened state, I was being physically carved and mentally rendered. Beauty informed by betrayal is not a good image. He was an animal, motivated with human presence, a soul of a dedicated ignorance, which makes me believe that even animals have better morals. To think that his friends admired his persistence, false relics, An ego measured by the mood of my confidence disrupts my core as if my soul has been secured from these planetary movements. And with no willingness to consider my posture, my blood was civilly located. Beat on my chest when you are in need of a drum. Words I have said which leave me defeated, now a jealousy more mature in its institution, culturally isolated. Certain like to think our love is in abundance, yet a heart that could be seen from all directions. If portraits reveal strength, he deserves an artistic fiber for the fabric of my proportions. He overlooked and now my body aches to faithfully become abandoned. When we make love, he would divide my empire by separating my kingdoms. My curse forced to respond to his desires, misguided symptoms of oppression.
I am bold, black, and brave. I am the son of the soil, my blackness runs deep to my soul. I am raw and rich, like coal. The essence of nature and the ultimate creature, black and proud, outspoken and loud. My roots pierce deeper and deeper to the ground. I was born through the spirits of Ubuntu and I was raised by the fertile soil of the motherland. The descendant of Adam alayhi salam down to Shaka Zulu, the modern Zulu warrior. My consciousness is my spear and my dark complexion serves as my shield. I am the son of the soil. Through wisdom I manifest forever on my quest, seeking for truth that cascades like the Victoria Falls. Fighting not to lose myself amongst many, many travelers as I stay true to myself and stay true to my existence. I am the son of the soil. I am black like me and there is none like me. As unique as I can be, none can be black like me. My Africanism runs deep. I ooze wisdom in my sleep, black to the bone. Africa is my throne. I am the son of the soil. I am that Nguni child, not just another black child. I am Mlungisi Tamsanga Cindi Umafulelu Skandisa Maye Bahle Labantu. I am the proud son of Duduzile and Manzini. I am the son, I am the brother, and I am the father. I am the son of the soil. I am the bard intellect.
Reminder. Remind the world, remind the universe. Remind fate, remind destiny. Remind all mind and heart that someday she will be mine. Someday. Weavers of the loom, be vigilant. Cupid, straighten posture to better aim. Bees, pollinate sunflowers, daisies, and daffodils. She deserves a fresh bouquet. Rain, quench the thirst of the soil, so grass can be brave enough to sprout from the ground. And to the suitors, lads, you're just phases to her. And to her, I hope you're free in the afternoon. There's something I've been meaning to tell you.
It's the desire of death, and I have lived the horrors of self-hate. To be home and not belong because you do not fit the mold of the carbon copies that surround you. I have greeted freezing failure, and I have welcomed devouring insecurities. To write yourself off because central measures of intelligence left you in a vegetative state when they deemed you as mediocre. I have seen my dignity flush down sewage drains, and I have watched my self-esteem disappear into the night. To be lost so deep in insecurities that you reject the request of built-in talents to see light. I have been blinded by deadly ignorance, and I have chased the warmth of affirmation. To be driven by external acceptance because you are a willing slave to the confines of confirmation. I feel for you, vulnerable child. You who daily walks through the shadow of death to find your voice. I bleed with you, vulnerable child. You who trust without borders and loves without hidden agenda. I pray for you, vulnerable child, you who defies the masses because you are unique beyond comprehension. I sing with you, vulnerable child, you whose song has a melody infused with warmongering cultures and damning beliefs. I hope you rise above the things that seek to destroy you and realize your power. I hope you wage war against the things that seek to define you and come to know your strength. I hope you rebel against the gravitational pull of giving up and be born to your true self. You have been through hell on earth. You survived. Now it's time to thrive and truly live.
You have walked the ends of the earth, far and wide as the galaxies can stretch, you are known. They know your head, a melting pot of ideas forming and brewing. They've seen you own it and adorn it with dukes, a symbol of defiance and revolution as you fought for your place on the table and on the streets. You made a revolution look like war and style all at the same time, setting trends with a raised feast like Winnie. You taught them that femininity and strength are not mutually exclusive. They know your voice. They've heard it echo beneath seas and hearts of deserts all throughout the world as TVs and radios all over broadcast you. It then became consensus to censor you. Behind bars you were thrown, but like Maya Angelou's caged bird, you continued to sing. They know your eyes, windows to your soul. They've smashed and forced entry in you on claims that you gave them that look. Your eyes were known long before they turned blue, red, purple, the outcome of men banging them against walls as if to get answers the walls wouldn't reveal when they stared. They know your eyes still, though you are gone and no longer the day's headline like QLINES. Your name summons for stronger foundations to be built, to secure your dignity, your comfort, in a world that makes you pay for sanitary pads as if your bleeding is a crime, while those who spill your blood go scot-free. Women of the world, for all you've been victimized and vilified for, they still wish and dream to be buried between your breasts, thighs, buttocks like Sarah Batman. Images of you hang in museums of their minds. Women of the world, you've walked the ends of the earth, from home soil to international runways like Zozi. You raised a flag for your land and earned a crown on top of your crown. Now tell me, who can deny that the universe and everything in it belongs to you?
Would splatter it on her cheek, leaving her with a blue eye and a blue lower lip. It knew how to travel her entire body. It would be a blue cut under her breast, a black and blue badge on her shoulder, a blue swollen knee from his kick. Other days they would wrestle. It was the only way they knew how to cuddle, and my mother would get lucky to taste power. She would sink her teeth in his flesh, leaving him with pinkish marks that later turned blue. I would eavesdrop on their conversations when he apologized, and my father would tell my mother that he only made her blue because he loves her. I would sleep on the kitchen floor of our two-roomed shack only to be awakened by a scream. I would crawl about and slide my head under the curtain that led into the bedroom where love was unfolding. I would witness this love-making in action. My father's hands buried in my mother's throat, leaving her gasping for air. If love was a color, it would be blue, because my mother would wake up with a blue neck. On days she was to attend parents' meeting at my school, I would watch her create art with a bottle of foundation and a sponge, a little dab here and a little dab there. She knew the perfect tone for her skin. She would conceal her blue love bites beyond recognition. A tear would stream down her eye, staining her cheek with melancholies. Perhaps she was feeling the sting of the love. I don't know. All I know is that she slept.
By a dream, I was taken To where we had dwelled, no one ever saw, I dwelled and saw. Slight shores of ancient gods who died in the war. They were killed by fallen angels for dominion over the universe in the great cosmic war. They were eradicated and slayed in cold hearts with no honor of their supremacy. They were eviscerated brutally, agonized to forcefully kneel before the fallen sons. The prophecy of darkness conquering came to life, grieving me, melancholy tinted by spirits. Behold, hope I saw in a valiant female god, wearing a garment of light pasted with hemming stars. Her dress was an anthem, a soothing song sounding in the step she took. Her feet were made out of crystal cloud. She wore the rainbow as her scarf, thunderstorm as her crown, lightning as her bracelet, rain as her necklace. She had her flaws too, just like any other god, but they existed in a frequency our bare eyes could not detect. I then visioned her skin, bear witness some written chronicles and articles in a pristine skin, ranging strings of flamboyance flowing turbulently to the ocean of a divinity. Mapped skin, cracked as if there were tectonic plates jolting the ground beneath her skin. There was no blood but honey. She had gold veins. Her knees were like a scroll with a prophecy of the sun caught shipping with the moon in his skirts. Her heart was a playground of shooting stars, surfing rainbows to eternity. Her soul was a graveyard where ancient gods decompose.
Sithunjiwe sisesiqiwini nabakamzilikazi bakhala esabo bathi kusemanxiweni oyisemkhulu lapha. Kwaba ukogoba amadlangala kwelakabulawayo babuya sebefunwa amaphepha abagunyazayo, kepha kusemanxiweni oyisemkhulu lapha. Singamane siboshwe ngezinsimbi namaketanga okwamasosha ombutho we-PAC afela ematilongweni, thina-ke siyokufela ethembeni. Ngisho ngabe kwakhala nyonini zinkomo zobaba siyokubuya emaqeleni makrume, vukani emthongweni nqolobane kaZulu usaleleni kusho kuvuka usinga engomeni, zimpoki siyaqephuza emthangaleni. Sekugeqwe amagula agqagqaza amacumo, nekakusekho zaqheqhela phasi kakhala sisilahla nje kwaphela. Siyalibuka siyalikhomba leli kwangela kithi kabalandela, kanti-ke laba kabakhohliwe singamakhohlwa kubusa ngokusephutha ummele, laba kabanabubele. Nombopha kasethayi akazuzanga ngokukhothama kwendlondlo enophaphe ekhanda kamenzi. Lonke leli yokubuswa zinkonjana, leso kwabasiqalekiso seminyaka ngeminyaka kwehlula sebethi libuyile elengabade kanjani elakwaZulu sahlobe ngoNatali. Ngisho lezinjongo ezisuke seledolobha kuzo kusacokeme izinyoni zezulu. Ingakho-ke namhla ngivuma umvumo ovunywa zinsizwa, ngihuba ihubo ehutshwa ngobaba, ngisho ngiqabule kancane enkambeni ngibuyele enkodlweni, ngivume umvumo ovunywa zinsizwa. Ngelinye ilanga liyokubuya elengabade. Bahlali lihle kakhulu ke lalingafelwa nkonyane, nobaba bafe belikhomba bethi lizobuya, izwi lomkhulu lizobuya. Sesiyogubha iminyaka engamashumi 3 sayizuza inkululeko, kuze kube namhlanje bengakabuyi. Sithunjiwe sisesiqiwini, sithunjiwe sisesiqiwini, singamane siboshwe ngezinsimbi namaketanga.
Everybody likes to think the world revolves around them. But nobody will take the blame once the world evolves and surrounds them. Progress is coded in binary. They circling around one point like the number 10. To decipher this encryption doesn't require a member of parliament. We keep voting and electing one that hits our pockets harder than black tax. Living in a society that is constantly being divided between the whites and the blacks, the colonies and the programmed, the privileged and the have-nots, the scientific ideology of a madman. A point of order is not honorable in the face of an empty stomach, and that's a fact. Words falling on deaf ears again, causing massive panic attacks. Careful not to sound politically incorrect, yet shedding the load with each other, but we're still in a dark place without a foolproof plan. Contaminated nature, corrupted from the root of the plant. Waterless sanitizers may clean us, but won't quench our thirst, because we allocated water coming straight from the fountain of gems. They say better the devil you know until he introduces death, fear of the unknown, forced to take a leap of faith here.